Good afternoon, DY. I'm Izzy Power.
And I'm Ava DeBreo. Welcome to the Dolphin News.
As usual, we start with Mrs. Bennett and a bit from Bennett.
Good afternoon, DY. We don't have much time before our winter break, and there is a lot happening, especially on December 19th. We have the Interact Gingerbread Contest, the Best Buddies basketball game, and the art exhibit. I've even heard something about caroling in our world languages, too, to get us in the spirit. Please know that we have to have a good week in order for these events to occur. We can only host creative events if we are following the expectations in the Dolphin way. Be here, be responsible, and be respectful. We have our first home basketball games today. Please be reminded that if you plan on attending any of the games, you are not allowed to hang around the school unsupervised until the start of the game. Even if the game starts at 3:30 p.m., we will ask you to leave the building at 2:04 and come back for the game. Please also be advised of some rules for the games. There is no smoking or vaping allowed on the property, no food or drinks allowed in the gymnasium, no athletic equipment allowed, no pets, and no readmittance. You can only leave once. Essentially, all school rules apply. The building will close promptly 30 minutes after the game ends. Make sure you coordinate transportation. We will require you to leave the property 30 minutes after the game. Prices are $6 for adults and students and $4 for seniors. If you purchase tickets ahead of time, you can purchase tickets ahead of time on gofan.co. I'll leave you with a final message. Please, if nothing else, be kind to one another. We don't know what people are dealing with outside of school, adults and students included. Please be kind. Back to you, Izzy and Ava.
Thank you, Mrs. Bennett. We have an update from the German Club and their most recent fundraisers. Candles are sold out. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who supported the 2025 Germany exchange trip with their purchase.
And a reminder that Monday is the last day to sign up classes for the Gingerbread House Building Contest, the proceeds of which go to Habitat for Humanity right here on Cape Cod.
It's that time of year again, DY. The Best Buddies program will host an intramural game on Thursday, December 19th during Dolphin Time and H Block. Rumor has it there is a great halftime show being planned.
This is an all-school event, and students will report to their H-Block class at the start of Dolphin Time. Classes will be called down to the upper gym, and there will be 2 quiet rooms available for students who choose not to attend.
No cell phones, backpacks, or other electronic devices are allowed in the gymnasium, so they must remain in your H-Block class. The basketball game will end by 1:45 p.m., at which time students will be dismissed by wing back to their last block class for dismissal.
And now we go to Dom for our sports news.
Thank you, Ava. Boys basketball will face off against Wareham High School tonight at home at 6:30 p.m. Girls basketball will take on Notre Dame Academy tomorrow at 12 o'clock p.m. at home. Pack the stands and cheer on our fellow Lagunatics as they get a big victory. Boys and girls indoor track will go up against Nantucket High School on Tuesday, December 17th at 3 o'clock p.m. at the Wing College indoor track. Tomorrow, the boys hockey team will face off at noon against Southeastern Regional Voc Tech School. This is an away game at Alexio Arena. The home opener for the DY girls hockey team will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. versus Mansfield High School at Tony Kent Arena in South Dennis. And as always, come on down to the school store. The school store will be open for all your school store merch needs, and goodie bags will be sold at all lunches. Back to you, Izzy and Ava.
Thanks, Dom. As winter approaches, it brings with us a season of festivities fueled by family gatherings, cultural traditions, and important community activities. Winter is not only a time to celebrate joyfully, but also a moment to reflect on the achievements of the past year.
While students at DY High School excel in academics and sports, their artistic talents sometimes go under the radar. One way to embrace the spirit of the season is by attending the DY Winter Art Reception. This special event showcases the stunning artwork created by DY students.
The reception will take place on Thursday, December 19th from 2:15 to 4:30 p.m. at the Pauline Hopkins Gallery right here at DY. Admission is free, and snacks and refreshments will be provided for those who attend.
There's a lot of talk in the world today about learning to code, but is coding that easy to define? Another word for it is computer programming, but that sounds pretty boring.
Coding is basically writing instructions for computers to follow. These instructions tell the computer what to do, how to perform tasks, and how to interact with people. And while computer programming may sound a little dull, coding is actually a powerful experience.
When you learn to code, you can build websites and apps, automate tasks on a computer, create video games, and solve complex problems. In other words, instead of just being a user of computers, you can have power over the computers.
If you'd like to learn more about coding, you should talk to Miss Sylvia in the library. We told you last week that she is looking for students who want to learn how to program an app, and this is a great opportunity to get started on a skill that will most surely guarantee you a job in the future.
And now it's time for our DY Moment of Culture. Let's go to Naisha.
Thank you, Ava. Did you know that today is the second Friday of the 13th of the 2024 calendar year? Are you worried that perhaps something spooky might happen? Friday the 13th is a date, but become synonymous with bad luck. But how did that come to be? The legend was founded in two superstitions. First, the number 13 has long been seen as an unlucky and unbalanced number. Its direct neighbor 12, on the other hand, is a number that seems balanced in our culture. We have 12 months in a year, and there are 12 hours on the clock, and in Christian culture, Jesus has 12 disciples. See, the number 12 is holy and balanced, but 13 is its lopsided and unpredictable neighbor that is up to no good. Don't believe me? Well, if we stick with this theme of Christian influence, it's important to note that Judas, who betrayed Jesus, was the 13th guest at the Last Supper. Oh, and guess what was the 13th guest at the feast in Valhalla? Who then tricked another attendee into killing the god Baldur, you guessed it, the trickster Loki. Then there's Friday, of course, which has its own dark ambiance in Christian culture. Friday is the day Jesus was crucified, adding to the day's association with misfortune. And look, it's not just Da Vinci Code connections that give Friday the 13th a bad rap. Friday the 13th has become a fixture in pop culture, especially through the Friday the 13th horror movie franchise, where the character Jason Voorhees keeps returning from the dead to chop up clueless teenagers. There are many buildings that won't even list a 13th floor in their elevator. They just jump from 12 to 14 with no stop in between. But not everybody believes in bad luck. In fact, for some, it's just a normal Friday, and in some cultures, the number 13 is actually considered lucky. So whether you're superstitious or not, it's clear that Friday the 13th has a lasting impact on our collective imagination. Back to you, Izzy and Ava.
And now we come to our weekly segment, the DY Educator of the Week. This educator is hardworking and always tries to help every student, but he also makes sure we really understand what we are doing.
According to the student who nominated him, he is also the teacher that they would feel the safest talking to if something went wrong, and he is open to talking at the end of each class. He tries his best to teach all students, even those who, at times, aren't giving their full attention to class. He is a trustworthy, creative, and helpful soul, and he is an asset to the DY staff.
This week's DY Educator of the Week, as nominated by Dan Perota, is Mr. Christensen. Thank you, Mr. Christensen, for the way you connect with your students.
Now, we go to Mackenzie with our weekend weather update.
Thank you, Ava. For the remainder of the day, it is going to be in the low 30s, transitioning into the mid-20s later in the evening. There will be clear conditions, but due to the wind chill, it is going to feel like the high teens in the evening. Saturday will be in the mid-30s with the wind chill, making it feel like 26 degrees. There will be partly cloudy conditions throughout the entirety of that day. Sunday will be in the high 30s for the day with partly cloudy conditions. Make sure to dress warm this weekend, DY. Back to you, Izzy and Ava.
We close today with our DY Student of the Week. This is an odd one to describe, but we'll do our best. We've all had those instances where we're away from home and a piece of our clothing becomes ripped or stains, or there is some other embarrassing mishap that takes place that makes you wish you could quickly change into something else, but you can't because you're not home.
It happens to everyone at one point or another, students and teachers alike. Well, a few weeks ago, something like this happened to a student. Our student of the week overheard that another student was in need, and she jumped into action, grabbing some extra clothes from her car and giving them to her peer.
The nominated teacher said that she is warm, caring, and kind, and that she put the other student at ease during what could have been an uncomfortable time.
This week's DY Student of the Week, as nominated by Mr. Blake, is Haley Whittemore. Haley plans on being a teacher when she graduates, and according to Mr. Blake, any student would be lucky to have Miss W in the future. Thank you, Haley.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for watching, and
have a great day in Dolphinland, DY.